everyone, welcome to Photoplay's YouTube channel and welcome back to Tuesdays with Tina. I have a fun project to share with you today. We're going to shake it up a little bit and create a shaker card. We're going to be using the Photoplay Paper Say It With Stamps Holiday Centerpiece Layering Dies. I love all the holiday elements of this and I think it'd be perfect to put right in front of a shaker card. For my greeting, we're going to be using the Say It With Stamps Rejoice Word stamp set. I love the font of the Rejoice, and I think it's going to go perfect for my project today. I love that there's sub-sentiments and pre-sentiments to go with it. There is a coordinating die set. It's called Rejoice. It's great on its own, but it also can die cut out your stamped Rejoice, and I like that there's a shadow to go with it. This is a two-piece die set, so we'll be using this on our card also. We're going to bring in some My Colors cardstock. We have the Holiday Charm Variety Pack. This is meant to go with the Holiday Charm collection. Doesn't necessarily have to go with it, but the colors go beautifully with it. And I just love the colors, so I thought we would use these on our card project today. Some of the papers have a nice texture to them, and when you die cut, I love that extra texture that it adds. So I'm going to trim down some colored cardstock and we are going to do a little bit of die cutting. I trimmed my cardstock down. Aren't these pretty colors? I trimmed them down into A2 panels, and I don't know if the camera will pick up the texture in there, but it's beautiful texture on these patterns, and this one actually has a little bit of a shimmer to it. We're going to take our red cardstock and we're going to die cut out some berries, and then we're also going to die cut out this die here that creates a string for our candle. With the off-white, we're going to die cut out our candle. I'm also going to die cut out a couple of the pine cones, and we are going to die cut out the flame of our candle. We're going to die cut it out with this off-white, and then we'll color it in with some alcohol markers. We're going to create some greenery with these two shades. We're going to die cut out the candle holder with this beautiful color. And also, we'll take our greenery. We'll cut this. This is the holly leaves. We'll cut out with the darker green. And then we have this beautiful pine flourish. We'll cut that out with the dark green too. I'm also going to die cut out one of these with this color cardstock. There is a dimensional piece that will add a little bit of a top layer to your candle, and I'm going to die cut this out with some white cardstock along with some snowflakes. I think we're going to create a snow-filled background, so I'll die cut out a few of those. Now while we're die cutting, I have my nested A2 arch die set. I'm going to take two of them and I'm going to create a frame with white cardstock, like so. And then I'm going to take the smallest one that I'm going to use for my frame, and then I'm going to, actually, let's put this on a smaller piece of red cardstock, and then we'll take this. I'm going to center it on my A2 panel here, and we'll create a window in this panel. I thought we'd have a real pretty red card front. For my greeting, I'm going to use the shadow die and some white cardstock. I'll die cut that out here, and then I'm also going to die cut out the Rejoice with our red. Okay, so that's all the die cutting that we're going to do, with the exception of our sub-sentiment, but I have a little bit of die cutting to do. I'm going to run everything through my die cut machine and I will be right back. I have everything die cut, and while I was die cutting, I did die cut out a piece of foam. I put it behind my Rejoice. We're going to add a little bit of dimension to this. If you don't have some pop-up foam, what you can use is white cardstock. Die cut out maybe 3 of these and then stack them together to create a little bit of dimension to your grading. I'm going to take my glue and we're going to add some glue behind here, and then we're going to place this on the shadow. Nice thing about glue is you have a little bit of wiggle room for placement. but it's very easy to line up. You see how? And then we have a little bit of dimension to go with it. We're going to put this off to the side, and we're going to create a candle. The candle has this top piece, and it's perfect for adding a dimensional look to your candle. I'm going to add glue behind it, and with the oval towards the top, we're going to go ahead and layer that along the arch of the candle, and it kind of just brings it to life. You can see here. Now we have our candle flame. I'm going to use my alcohol markers. I'm going to use some yellows and oranges. These are the markers I'm going to be using. I'm going to start off with my lightest yellow, and we're going to go over the cardstock. The My Colors cardstock actually takes color really well. And then we're just going to create a kind of a gradient with it. And then I filled in the wick of my candle with a dark gray marker. Okay, we're going to add a little glue on the inside where we put that piece, just a little dot. And then we are going to add our candle wick to that glue. And there is our candle. Pretty easy to put together. I'll go ahead and flip this around, and we'll put some foam tape behind here. Now I want to do a little bit of ink blending on my pine cones, so I'm going to bring in some Distress Oxide ink. Let's put these over here. I have Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to use my blending brush, and we're going to add a little bit of ink over the top here. I do want some of that off-white color to show through. We're going to add a little color to our card base, and I'm bringing in the frame that we created with our arches. I haven't tacked it down, I'm just holding it down as a guide, and then I'm going to add a little bit of my light blue ink in the background. I don't really need too much, but just wanted a little bit of color here. So we have blue, and then while we're at it, I want kind of a glowing flame. I'm going to place my candle almost center, and then where the flame is, I'm going to use my pencil and add just a little dot. This is going to give me a guide. I'm going to use a finger dauber for this because I just want a really light halo. I'll place it right over that pencil mark, and then I'm just going to kind of circle in that area and then kind of fade out. This is going to give me a little bit of a glow to my candle. So it looks kind of funny, but bear with me, I think it'll come all together in the end. I'm going to put this off to the side, and we're going to stamp our sub-sentiment with our Rejoice word stamp set. The one that I'm going to be using today is the In the Magic of Christmas. So our greeting will say Rejoice in the Magic of Christmas. And I'm just going to stamp my sub-sentiment with black ink on some white cardstock. And I'm going to be using my sentiment strip die set to cut out that greeting. I love that it cuts out the greetings just perfectly. So there's our sub-sentiment ready to go. Now I'm going to take my frame. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to use my tape runner. We're going to add adhesive all along the back side. And then I have a piece of acetate we're going to use to cover it. So we have our acetate put behind here, and then now we need to fill in the back with some foam tape. I went ahead and removed my release paper, and I did double up on the foam tape on the bottom. That's just less room because we're going to put our greeting here. It's less room for our shaker elements to fall down. Okay, we're going to use mica flakes to fill our shaker. And I'm just going to add some directly to my card base. We're going to kind of center it. We have a little pile in the middle. I'm going to take the front of my shaker. Now if you want a lot of shake, you would double up on your foam tape. I don't mind that it doesn't have a lot of shake. I just want it for a snowy effect. We're going to go ahead and take our frame, add it directly to our card base, right over the top. Make sure it's sealed really good. And then I can tap it. And we have the mica flakes that fall to the bottom. Okay, what we're going to do next is take our frame. I'm going to add glue behind here, and we're going to attach this to the front of our card. I went ahead and put some foam tape behind my greeting. We're going to add this at the very bottom, covering up that extra piece of foam tape. And we will add this straight across the bottom here. I went ahead and put a small strip of foam tape behind my sub-sentiment. We're going to add this just off to the side. And we'll finish our greeting. I'm going to go ahead and trim the bottom portion of my candle here. We're going to trim the bottom off, and then we're going to do a little tucking with this. Tuck it underneath, and we're going to put it in the center here, just so a little bit of it's peeking out. And then we're going to add our candle. Now we have our candle ribbon or twine. I'm going to use my glue and add a little bit of adhesive behind here. And we're going to add I'm going to add it at the very base of our candle. We'll tack that down. We're going to add it to the right here. And then we have our holly leaves. These we're going to add overlapping the candle just a little bit. I'll add a couple dots of glue, and then we can add the berries that go to our holly leaf. We'll add those. On this side, we're going to add a little glue to we added our pine cones. Okay, and then I did put small foam squares behind the snowflakes, and we're going to add some snowfall to the front of our card. We'll add 3 in this upper corner, and then I will add a couple over here. And before we go, I do want to add a little sparkle to these snowflakes, so I'm going to bring in some gems. And we're going to add some of these gems to the center of our snowflakes. And then we're also going to bring in some glitter glue, and we're going to add a little bit of sparkle to the flame of our candle here. And also to our berries. And that will finish off my shaker card today. We have a little, and again, if you wanted more shake, you would just double up on that foam adhesive. But thanks so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.